Comedy just isn't the same anymore. Modern movies play it safe, afraid to offend anyone. Do you remember the wild, no-holds-barred comedies of the 2000s? That's what we need right now. Luckily, some movies still dare to push the limits with dark humor and savage jokes. So, here are the 5 must-watch dark comedies that bring back the edge. When you first hear the combination of Russell Crowe and Ryan Gosling playing together in a crime comedy, your first reaction should be to leave everything behind and watch that movie immediately. The story goes in 1977 in Los Angeles. A single father and licensed PI Holland March, played by Gosling, is hired to investigate the apparent suicide of famous porn star Misty Mountains. As the trail leads him to track down a girl named Amelia, he encounters less licensed and less hands-off Private Eye Jackson Healy and his brass knuckles, both hired by the young hippie. However, the situation takes a turn for the worse when Amelia vanishes and it becomes apparent that March wasn't the only one interested party. As both men are forced to team up, they need to take on a world filled with eccentric goons, strippers dressed as mermaids, and even a possible government conspiracy. Set in the 70s of LA and with a great chemistry, The Nice Guys is a perfect movie to watch with your friends or your girlfriend. This has to be one of the most underrated comedies ever. When I first heard about it, I had zero interest in watching, but I'm glad I gave it a shot. Moscow, 1953. After ruling for nearly 30 years, Soviet dictator Joseph Stalin suddenly falls ill and dies. What follows? Absolute chaos. The Soviet leadership turns into a backstabbing, power-hungry circus. The cast is insane. Their chemistry is off the charts, and the way they balance dark comedy with intense political drama is just genius. It's hilarious, brutal, and honesty, and way better than I expected. The humor is sharp, cynical, and often uncomfortably hilarious. Imagine The Office, but set in the Soviet Union's brutal political machine. Steve Buscemi as Khrushchev and Simon Russell Beale as Beria are standouts, bringing both comedy and menace to their roles. The film plays fast and loose with history, but it captures the ridiculousness of authoritarian regimes and the absurdity of power. Banned in multiple countries, this comedy is definitely worth watching. Palm Springs is a refreshing and clever take on a time loop concept. It mixes romance, comedy, and existential dread in a way that feels both entertaining and surprisingly deep. Andy Samberg and Christian Milioti have great chemistry, and the film balances its humor with some genuinely thought-provoking moments about love, purpose, and breaking free from cycles, literally and metaphorically. The Interview is one of those movies that thrives on pure chaos. It's a ridiculous political satire starring James Franco and Seth Rogen. They play a talk show host and his producer who are somehow recruited by the CIA to kill North Korean leader Kim Jong-un. The comedy is exactly what you expect from Rogen and Franco. Raunchy, absurd, and packed with ridiculous one-liners. Some jokes land, some don't, but the film fully commits to its insanity. Randall Park as Kim Jong-un is actually a highlight, making the character both funny and weirdly charismatic. It's not a masterpiece, but it's an entertaining, dumb fun action comedy with some solid moments. Plus, the controversy around its release just made it even more infamous. The Harold and Kumar movies are the definition of dumb fun. They take the classic stoner comedy formula and crank it up with absurd adventures, ridiculous situations, and surprisingly sharp social satire. Harold and Kumar Go to the White Castle is an all-time classic. It's literally just two guys trying to get burgers, but everything that can go wrong does. Escape from the Guantanamo Bay takes things even further, throwing them into full-blown political mess, and a very Harold and Kumar Christmas adds a holiday chaos to the mix. What makes these movies stand out is the chemistry between John Cho and Kal Penn. They're hilarious together, and the films don't just rely on stoner humor. They also poke fun at stereotypes, politics, and pop culture in a way that still holds up. Plus, Neil Patrick Harris playing a totally unhinged version of himself. And that wraps up our list of the top 5 dark comedies. These films prove that humor can thrive even in the darkest moments, turning tragedy into laughter, and making us question just how far we're willing to go for a joke. Whether it's satire, absurdity, or just pure chaos, these movies push boundaries in the best way possible. So which is your favorite? Let me know in the comments, and if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the bell for deep dives in the world of cinema. See you at the next one.